Welcome back. And just before going for the short break, we're discussing about 250 jobs, 250,000 jobs, Karanja, Boy Child, and Apostle Gishimu, that should be awarded yearly to our young men if we would be honest, genuine in dealing with the public funds. But this money cannot be used that way because someone is thinking, I need a mansion, I need this and that. I mean, it is so sad. And Apostle, as you wind up on this point and get the next question from Studio A, then is it just about the boy child, the family, or does it now roll over to the irresponsibility of political leaders?
This is irresponsibility on the politicians. Very, very irresponsible. Because when we elect them, you know, to take the responsibility of taking care of the 47 million Kenyans, and especially the young people, because there is no way we can develop as a nation and move to higher levels if we neglect our young people. And this is something they need to get. In fact, they shouldn't even be burning midnight oil thinking about young people. What can we do about our young people? How can we help them? Because we have elected them to take that responsibility. And let me mention this as a servant of God, that every single coin they steal, and whoever steals, they are not only answerable to Kenyans, they are answerable to God Almighty. And they will, unless they stop it, they repent, and they change and do the right thing, God will definitely judge them. Because even when you are there as a politician, don't think that you are just serving Kenyans. God is looking at you, seeing what you are going to do to improve the lives of the people that he has placed into your hands.
Wow.
So being a politician also is being responsible before God.
If you'd allow me to maybe add something on that.
Yes.
Because when he was talking, my mind has gone into the many young men we are seeing in our shopping centers.
Yes.
Either people call them chokoras. I don't like that name. I don't also like calling them.
I hate that name also.
Children.
Yes.
Because no, streets actually cannot bring up children. These are our own children.
Yes.
Somebody irresponsible somewhere never took the responsibility.
Yes.
But when that one happened, and nobody seems to be bothered, we have all the sorts of department. We have the gender department, we have the children department, we have the Child Protection Act. These kids come to town, well, they are children. And the act is there and says this child needs to be given education, needs shelter, needs food.
Basic needs.
And as a country, we are not bothered with that. And I can say over 90% of them are boys. And that one pulls us to thinking about, so if it is a boy, nobody bothers, because this boy will not be raped, this boy will not be done this will not happen to them. We want them to harden. When they harden on the streets, they end up being so hostile to us and to every other Kenyan.
And they turn out to be the gangsters that
they are the gangs that, again, we tell our young men who are trained and they're in uniform, go and look for your brothers who have become gangs. And while they were becoming gangs, we were watching. So as a people, we are not so careful about what is happening to our young men. I have given a blueprint on what can be done. We have. Yes, I have. I've said we have schools that require uniform. These young men can be taken to some and be given skills to do uniform. They can also be shown how to do shoes, because we all buy shoes every other year when kids are going to school. We have repair and maintenance of government institutions. Those institutions can be given to these young men. Let them be trained on how to do the repair and maintenance, so that we can have them busy. We should not see somebody in the streets walking and doing nothing. Like we said, these are chokoras. Chokoras for what? These are Kenyans who are supposed to be empowered.
Yes.
Let them be given the basics as a Kenyan. Even if they are men, let us give them the skills. But unfortunately, because they are men, who bother us? After all, we have enough guns. After all, we have a factory in Eldoret doing ammunition.
Bullets.
Are we trying to work on ammunition so that we can kill our own? It's so unfortunate. Because even we are saying we have a number of things that these guys can do. I want to believe this suit was done in a different country. Why can't we have our young men doing it? And we are going to buy from them. But as a people, as Kenyans, it's like we don't care. We just want to look at them and like we are so comfortable. Hawa ni chokora. These are chokoras, lakini hawajawekelewa ajiwe. Kama amekuja mtaani akiwa miaka 10, hajawekelewa mawe asipae kidogo aongeze miaka 11, 12 na akili bado inamwambia haukai kwa street, unaweza survive better. How are they going to survive better? How safe are we going to be when they want to make money from our pockets that they have not given us any service? Because we never took the initiative of thinking about them, then we are going to pay the price. And as Kenyans, are we really willing to pay the price?
Because the price is very high.
Oh yes,
it's just so high. It's actually more than giving them some jobs to do or creating something for them. Because if we are going to send our police officers, say for example, and then we lose that officer, this officer took 9 months or 1 year in training. And spent resources that we as taxpayers, we gave our taxes so that we can train this young man or this young lady
to become a police officer.
To become a police officer, to give us security, not to go and be killed by another young man who was raised in the streets. We can actually sit there and say, and we sit pretty and say we are comfortable as Kenyans, we are not doing well. As long as we leave the boy child out of the picture, we are not doing well. We will never be happy. Yes.
It is very sad, and as you say, it is very emotional, because we are the same ones who look at the street children, especially the government, the policy makers, and say how and watoto wa mitaani. But there was a time I remember we tried to sweep them off the street, and we saw them in different institutions, but it was not a lasting effect.
I don't know whether it was during the time of
Kibaki,
the Vice President Moody Awori. In fact, he was very focused on that. He even improved a lot of conditions for the prisoners. And, you know, I used to say it myself, well done. This is the way to go. But then, the leaders that came later, you know, they never carried on that legacy in order to improve it, to improve on it. The platform was laid. But somewhere, you know, everything was broken. And, you know, went apart. Now, these children are very much Kenyans.
Yeah, true.
And it's unfortunate that some of us have been using those derogatory terms, calling them chokora. I think in one of the programs, I don't know which program, I said, remember that boy you call a chokora actually is created in God's image. When you call him chokora, remember you have called God chokora. What does that mean? That boy, that child who was created in God's image, you are calling that child a chokora and is created in God's image. Don't you think God is also hearing your derogatory terms? And this is where all of us Kenyans, including me and others, we have to change our attitude. Let it be a collective endeavor. Let it be a collective endeavor. And I like Karanja, and he associated himself with the boy child. And God bless you, because you are doing a commendable job. And it's like you have taken, you know, I could see the passion in which you are talking about there. Because also, now if I go to the spiritual side, the revival of the 1970s, God used young people. How young? 14 years, 19 years, 20 years, 22 years. And these are the people that God used. You see? These are the people that God used. And they did a fabulous, you know, revival of the church. And that God of 70s is still the same God we have in this 21st century. But we should actually, you know, come out of our comfort zones also. And I thank God for the servant of God, Apostle Kimani, who always preaches and tells people to come out of their comfort zones and do what they are supposed to do to help others. So the government should come out.
And do something.
We also as individuals, we should come out. If there is that one child that you can get and educate and mentor, get that child out of the street.
And this is very powerful, emotional, it is very passionate. We're talking about the boy child, and truly, it is not just a a cliche that once you are able to rescue the boy child, you secure the future. It is the hard reality. Back to Studio A, yes?
The society has taken centuries empowering the girl child, but who is empowering the boy child? Many women have been empowered, they are learned, they have good jobs, but no men to marry them. They are complaining that they cannot get men who can match their status. Where is the future of the boy child?
Interesting one. This young lady says she's not saying it out of pride, but it's very clear, says, I'm well educated, I got good education, got a good job, did very well, but I'd also want to get married to a man who matches that. And I can tell from the way she's saying it, it's not out of pride, but every time I'm looking for that man, I cannot find him. You know, I cannot find him. Apostle, what happened to that boy child? She's saying, I'm ready to settle.
Yes.
But nikimtafuta simuoni, kwa pengine alimezwa na vikundi vya vigilante, ulevi, mambo kama yale ama kutojielewa.
It is true. Actually, a lot of young people, even when they get married sometimes, the marriage is not able to survive. Again, you know, the whole thing boils down to the upbringing of that young man. However, also, there are some young men, although they have been brought up, but they get influenced by what we call peer pressure. And peer pressure can influence you positively or negatively. So if a majority are influenced negatively, then it may be quite, you know, some time before a lady like that one can actually settle. It is a fact that she may not be able to settle because, you know, it will take time for you to get the right person. Now, I think here, if there can be a collective effort to help our young men and to grow with a sense of responsibility, then they will be ready, you know, like they say in economics, ready to pick fruits. You know, they will be there. But if that one is not there, then it may be difficult even for our ladies to get married, because if a lady is responsible, of course, no particular woman would like to be married by an irresponsible person. And by that, I would say most of the marriages these days, even when they get married, some of them, they only survive for 1 year, is gone. I've even had cases where it only lasts for a night, and then the following night they are divorcing.
Karanja, don't laugh. Did we give too much emphasis, 1 minute, to the girl child, and maybe that's something we should be talking about much more?
There's a lot of emphasis on the girl child, and again, girls have mentors. They start with their mothers. They go to ECD, teacher is a mother. Then class 1 to 3, another lady. So they are well mentored, they are well grounded with a very good foundation. But our young men seems not to have that. But then I would want to talk to the young ladies who want to get married. For many years, men have married girls who are maybe 10 years younger, 15 years younger, and they mentor them to become good mothers to their children. So if the ball has changed the court, then we have to ask the ladies, if the one has several qualities, just a few qualities are missing, then mold your husband. You might want, you're given a material, then come up with the shape that you want. Otherwise, you cannot tell the world to bring the shape for you.
But you need to also understand, I'm not saying it from a lady's point of view. You need to understand the cry of the lady. Because now, because maybe having empowered the girl child more, the boy child was neglected. True. But nevertheless, you say try and make good of the situation.
Yes, you can mold, come up with what you want. Because possibly what you're looking for is not there. But the material is there, mold it.
Okay.
Yeah, tunasema udongo upatilize huu ni maji. Ukimpata basi finyanga utoe sura ambao unataka. Otherwise it's going to be tough. Kama atatoa hiyo sura, there are many other girls who are looking at that one, and you find that you are 100 of you there. Alafu unasema huyu mjamaa ananiplay. Mtu anakuplay namna gani? Wewe unamwendea wakati already ameumbika, hujui aliumbwa na nani.
Lakini pia kasoro liko kwa society. He would have brought in the young man the way he was supposed to be, or what he was meant to be, to become the leader God intended him to become.
And can we push that ball to the mothers again? Saizi, over half of the families are headed by mothers. what kind of men are they giving the society? If they are unable to give the society the kind of men that the society wants, yeah, then they should ask themselves, what are we going to do? We have Bishop here. Sukumia yao vijana, wacha waundwe vizuri.
So look for mentors, look for men of God.
Mentors have to be there. And I've said this statement over and again, over again, that you are a woman, you're trying to raise a man. You've never been a man, so you do not know what really happens in this way of becoming a man. So look for another man, push your boy there, let him be mentored to become a man.
All right, this is one of the greatest, would I say, programs. This is one of the greatest programs that we've had on Ask the Ministers of God, raising the boy child right and securing the future. Thank you, Studio A. Thank you for the questions. Thank you, men of God. This was very interactive. We enjoyed it. God bless you.